right, episode 2 of the podcast. Name change alert. We are now called the Yeoman's Work podcast. Beats Me was kind of taken by a lot of people. There's a lot of Beats Me podcasts out there. I liked the name, but we knew it was going to be temporary, so.
So the change is for forever.
We're hoping Yeoman's Work
Will be permanent.
That's going to be permanent, hopefully. All right, today, February 2nd, 2022. Big sports day. Obviously, I think we should start with the Brian Flores.
So Brian Flores has sued the NFL and 3 teams: the Broncos, the Giants, and the Dolphins.
Okay. Everyone knows him as the Dolphins head coach, though, so.
He's also an assistant coach to the Patriots.
Right. And then there's the whole Bill Belichick text message thing tied into it.
That was released today. I saw the images.
Yeah. That was wild. Like Bill Belichick, was it like an accidental text on purpose, or was it like Bill Belichick trying to like mess with the league, or?
And it's kind of ironic that, I'm not trying to put this in the air, but Tom Brady retired a day before all this leaked.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Brady was behind the whole thing.
But while we stay on topic, this is unfortunate news. Brian Flores has a good record. I looked at his
I thought it was
statistics.
ridiculous that he got fired, first of all.
And I feel like he has a pretty prominent role in a good case against the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we wanted this to be a fun podcast, and it's like, it sucks that the second episode we do, like, this crazy news comes out. Now there's all allegations of, like, racism and, institutional racism in the NFL, and, this is stuff I wish we didn't have to talk about, but it's like, we can't ignore it.
Yeah, we can't ignore it. And absolutely, this is not just a topic for NFL, but soccer, MLB, and the NBA.
But really, it's the biggest problem in the NFL.
Oh, for sure.
They have
with hiring black
head coach.
Yeah. For
32 positions. It's kind of ridiculous when the league is 70% black. So, should I tell my thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I heard is that Brian Flores was basically bribed $100,000 per game to lose the games by the Dolphins
in 2019,
owner. In 2019, Ross. And, obviously he didn't do it because he put together a decent record. But then Hugh Jackson comes out and he kind of corroborates the story by saying he was told to do a similar thing by the Browns owner. And, we all know Hugh Jackson. What did he win, like 1 or 2 games? Like in 2 seasons?
I feel like Brian Flores was scapegoated here.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, that maybe they're using these black coaches as scapegoats or stool pigeons, however you want to call it, to like take the fall. Like, we're going to hire you as like a placeholder, and you're going to lose these games, and we're going to fire you and then bring in who we really want, or just bring in someone else. And it's like, oh yeah, we hired a black head coach.
Yeah, let's get good PR.
It's like, oh, it's good PR for us. Yeah,
it's really unfortunate. It's a travesty that it's coming out now, but this is a strong topic, and we wanted to talk about it today.
People more articulate and more educated and smarter than me will explain it better, but I think by now we all have heard the news, and a lot of people have weighed in on it. I listened to a lot of other people's opinions. I think the bottom line is they just really need to try harder to hire more black head coaches. Otherwise, it's just going to be a cycle of like, oh, they don't have the experience, but how are they going to get the experience if they never
without giving the opportunity?
And what do they call it? Like, whatever. You hire people who look like you because that's what you know. and then they form the good old boys clubs.
Yeah, and we're trying to move away from, just not just the racism talk, but just making this like a permanent thing. I feel like it's an issue again in all sports, and especially as Joe.
Especially though the NFL.
Yeah, when we just already pointed out the percentage.
Because MLB, they got plenty of Latino managers.
I know, but when we're talking about
managers.
African American culture, like I feel like for NFL and NBA, like there's Ime Udoka for the Celtics.
Yeah, I think
Todd Bowles had an opportunity with the Jets a few years ago.
Well, that's another part because the Giants have never had a black head coach.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the topic at hand is those three teams.
Yeah,
the
there's
Broncos,
the
Giants,
which the whole Rooney Rule of
and
where
the
you have
Dolphins.
to interview two African American candidates, right? Or is it just any candidate of
the Rooney
color,
Rule.
whatever? But they're saying, which people knew already, but now they might have proof that these are just like sham interviews. Like these guys don't really have a chance, which I think we knew that.
Yeah, they put them out there.
They
make
teams,
it seem like the team wasn't, looking over.
Yeah, but you give them the interview, but you're just giving them the interview so you can say, "Oh, we interviewed two African American candidates." I don't know. That is.
It's really unfortunate, and hopefully moving forward, there will be a lot more black candidates running for head coaching spots in NFL and changing.
Well, I think there's plenty of candidates. I just think these GMs or the owners, they know already who they're going to go with before the interviews take place. So it's like you're just interviewing them just to say you interviewed them.
Well, like you said earlier about institutional racism, hopefully we can get that out of sports.
Yeah, that's a subject for greater minds than me to try to fix.
But moving forward,
that's just
that's really the end of this topic. Moving on to a similar kind of feisty topic. The Washington Redskins recently changed to the Washington Commanders. I had the timeline up. My colleague here would pull it up for me.
I thought I was more than a colleague to you.
Well, losing this co-host spot. Someone new.
I'm a co-host. No, but what is it? The Washington Commanders.
Yeah, but there's a timeline. It's been going on since I believe 1974. They've been actually having this issue with their name change for a very long time. In the past, in 2018-19, when the came out that it was very offensive, the name Redskins.
Yeah, it's not a great name. It's
I personally think teams, whether the lineage or the background of the name, how it became to be, it's not a big deal. But I wanted to bring this topic up in today's podcast because I think it's interesting they chose the Commanders.
Well, it's a big name. I mean, it's a big. It's big news. How often does a team change their name?
I mean, it's better than them calling themselves the Washington Football Team.
Yeah, that was kind of a cop out. I think the owner just did that as a petty whatever.
Well, I think Dan Schneider, if I'm correct, Schneider is the owner. Yeah. Correct. Again, had these issues for years since owning the team, and in 2019, I believe. They tried to change the team's name to the Washington Red Indians.
The Red Indians?
Yeah, they kept going through these names, and somebody kept copying.
That's not much better, though.
Yeah, they kept copywriting a few names, some person. So whatever the Washington Redskins wanted to turn into, it was a struggle to find a new name for a while. So they just stuck with the Washington Football Team for this past season. So.
Basically, when you cling to your traditions too tightly, there's certain things that get outdated.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was not a great name ever, really,
and the offensive background to it is.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it took till 2021 to change the name, it's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone, I mean, Dan Snyder, you know how he is, not the most popular owner in the league for sure. And then the baseball team, the Cleveland Indians, they're now the Guardians.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a great ring to it, but
I mean,
It is what it is. It's not a terrible team
History
name.
will repeat itself, I believe, though, with some name changes, and we'll see it going forward.
Yeah, no. The Commanders, though, what do you think about the name?
I like it. I can get behind it. I'm not a big Washington fan to begin with, but I can get behind that name.
They say they're gonna nickname them like the Commies.
I mean, it'll probably have, again, a least offensive mascot. So.
They just changed the mascot to like something super offensive.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll change the
But
name.
any of our audio listeners get the joke here. So this was just a quick topic we wanted to bring up. Good name change. You give us your review on that and how you feel.
Yeah, call in to our cell phones. We're not giving out the number, but I'm sure you probably know it if you're listening. All right. You want to? All right. I think, the next thing coming up, besides the Pro Bowl, which everyone cares so much about, is the NBA trade deadline. That's
which is February 10th or the 11th. I believe it's.
I thought it's the 13th.
Oh, the 13th. Okay, I'm off with my dates.
Oh, whatever.
My
either
co-host here, Joel, has all these dates correctly. I think it's a big deal. A lot of teams seem like buyers. Heard the Pelicans might do a swap with Josh Hart and Harrison Barnes on the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I did hear about Harrison Barnes. Definitely a big
I heard De'Aaron
candidate.
Fox. Kings have to make a decision between keeping him and building around him and Tyrese Halliburton, or trading him away.
They're gonna build around Halliburton.
Yeah, well, that's a given, but I'm saying they might not keep De'Aaron Fox. We'll see. There's a lot of
where do you think is a good destination for him?
Well, a lot of people thought the Sixers in a Ben Simmons swap with a couple picks and however that would work.
Yeah, I don't think they're moving Simmons until the offseason.
Yeah, it seems like the Daryl Morey of the Philadelphia 76ers wanted James Harden from the Brooklyn Nets and hoping in the offseason to do a swap, but
maybe.
he was attaching Tobias Harris with a lot of the trades, so there's not a lot of biters. Other teams, I know, again, I said in the first podcast, I'm a Laker fan. I heard THT and Kendrick Nunn, the first-round pick, was attached to try to get rid of them for a bigger wing depth.
They were talking about Buddy Hield, right?
Yeah, they were trying to eye that Buddy Hield trade.
I heard the Kings are they want more or something, or they said they have better offers on the table.
Oh, I mean, teams always gauge interest regardless.
Yeah, no, that's.
I don't know if they have better offers, but we'll see. Heard the Knicks are even sellers on Kemba Walker, Nerlens Noel, and Alec Burks.
I heard. Well,
and Julius Randle could be even offered on the table, but
they should get rid of Randle.
I mean, statistically, we've seen his stats go down from being most improved player last year into the playoffs, where he had a bad playoffs, really bad. But
I think he's worn out his welcome in New York.
I heard even Fournier could be had, so we'll see.
Who's going to want him with that contract?
Well, a lot of teams may just want to do swaps. I heard even the Celtics want to get rid of Dennis Schroeder. He's like the main candidate to get traded. Josh Richardson, Aaron Nesmith.
Yeah, I've heard all that. I think Schroeder is definitely gone.
Yeah, I mean, Schroeder was just kind of signed, I feel like, to fill a point guard role, which the Celtics have struggled to have since Rondo left a couple of years ago. They've been kind of just using Marcus Smart as a,
Yeah, he's not a traditional
combo
point
guard, but he can't really play and make as well, and he's not a great shooter. So, on to this topic, I've heard other teams, such as the Trailblazers, trying to get rid of Robert Covington or C.J. McCollum. Even Ben McLemore's name came up. I don't know what teams are going to offer for them. Hopefully they're not trying to sell him with a first-round pick. But, yeah, I mean, it's big. This trade deadline's got a lot of...
Your dream scenario, who do the Lakers get?
Honestly, I would be happy with Covington, but dream scenario would be Miles Turner because he's young.
He's hurt right now.
And, well, that's what I'm saying. They could, buy low with the injury. Even though he's hurt, I'd rather have a young guy who's 25, 26 years old. With 80s age, you could still build around a team of those two. And it doesn't seem like the Lakers have the tools to win this year, and I kind of see that. I heard, even bigger teams that are not struggling, like the Suns are trying to get rid of Dario Saric or even Campaign.
I would kill for Miles Turner on the Nets, but I don't think they have the
There's
pieces.
A lot of offers out there. I mean, the talent pool is not as big as other years, and we'll see. I mean, I definitely see closer to the deadline a big trade happen, maybe like a 4-team trade.
Hmm. Something always goes down that's kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, last year we had so many big trades happen with Harden going to the Nets and
Although that was pre-deadline.
but
There was a lot of big trades
I
last
mean,
year,
there's a
though.
lot of movements of Victor Oladipo and LeVert in that big
Yeah,
trade.
whatever
I heard the
happened to
Cavs are trying
Oladipo.
to kind of push off of Ricky Rubio because he's like at the end of his contract, and they need a wing, and he's kind of since he tore his ACL, they don't really need him. But yeah, this is a crazy trade deadline. A lot of weirder news. I heard another team was the Rockets. They're willing to get rid of Christian Wood, probably asking for a first round pick. Eric Gordon.
They're going to want a lot for Wood.
I even heard that the swap for Westbrook for John Wall. A lot of people probably heard that trade. If any of our audio listeners are fans of the Rockets or the Lakers, I would not do that trade.
You don't have to call them audio listeners. They're just listeners.
Okay. Well, respectfully, we do not have a camera currently.
So yeah, no.
But yeah, those are the big names I heard around the league, and hopefully something starts stewing. I want to see.
I still want the Nets to get Thaddeus Young. They can probably just give cash considerations or something.
There was a trade that the Nets were considering doing straight up Paul Millsap for like Kent Bazemore.
I don't see the point of that.
I mean,
I like Millsap, even though he barely plays. He's the one guy that can
shell
actually...
and kind of washed, but
yeah,
I would take him because we need
this.
more big bodies and we have no big anything on our team.
This Nets
And
have the
Bazemore
same
doesn't
problem.
get playing time, but he's solid, and if you guys aren't going to play him, I'd take him.
I just don't see how the Nets are going to guard Giannis or Embiid in the playoffs, which are like our two teams we have to get through. So I don't know what the plan is. It's scary to me. Like, we're just gonna like hope that double teaming them works? Like, it's not great. It's not what you want.
Well, I won't lie. I don't think either our teams have great depth right now, and not the best defense and rebounding. So rim protection's huge. So hopefully, in a dream scenario, my team gets Miles Turner or your team gets him. We'll see. Closer to the deadline. You said February 13th.
I believe it is. I'd have to double check, but
And if you're a Knicks fan, hopefully you guys get your wish, because I'm sure this team has a bright future and they might get
What's the Knicks fans' wish? To like make the playoffs?
I mean, they made the playoffs last year. Hopefully they can get
They got no hope this year, dude. They're cooked.
Well, I'm saying the move some of these assets.
I think best case of like winning games is they make the play and maybe win a series, but I don't think so. They're just not that good. There's like 8 to 9 teams that are just better than them in the East.
Well, the East definitely turned it around. Usually the last 10 years
yeah, dude,
was the West, and it's turned around. The East is definitely cooking this year. We got the Bulls, got you guys, the Nets, got even the Hornets playing really good. They're a really fun team to watch.
I do like the Hornets. I feel like their record should be a little better.
Unfortunately, I don't see anything crazy in my eyes. I think at trade deadline, either there's going to be a big 4-team trade or nothing crazy is going to happen. It's going to be like...
Sorry, Knicks, you have no dream scenario.
I mean, I feel like there's going to be more buyouts this year. Like the Magic might buy out Gary Harris. Feel like if some...
Well, he's shown he
I
can
heard
still
some
play.
teams offered for Mo Bamba a first-round pick, but...
I'd do that. Although I don't think the Nets can trade any more first-rounders.
But I see like a team like if the Nets wanted Thaddeus Young, the Spurs would probably buy him out. But we'll see. Closer to the deadline, I think that's going to start happening. February 13th is more of an expiration of what's going to be all these moves.
I think the Knicks... They blow it up again.
My dream scenario, though, sticks to Harrison Barnes or Miles Turner. Those are the two players I want. One has really great defense and good scoring, and the other just fills a need.
My dream scenario is like a castle in the Philippines. But that's for another day.
Okay, our listeners don't want to hear about your dreams.
So did you watch the Royal Rumble?
I did. I'll be honest, as a pro wrestling fan, I was very disappointed in
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
the men's Rumble this year.
I didn't watch it, but you can tell me.
Well, I'll start with the women's Rumble.
I did watch that.
Ronda Rousey made her return to the WWE, which I didn't know about, but I also didn't read anything about this Rumble this year.
I'd heard she was going to be in it.
Which is cool. It definitely was interesting to see Sasha Banks, eliminate a lot of the legends. There was
Sasha Banks got eliminated early, though.
Yeah, but
she was the first one in.
She eliminated Melina, and there was just a lot of legend showed up. Michelle McCool,
Kelly.
You said Lita.
Lita, yeah.
I told you Melina. And we had Charlotte Flair. I was shocked that.
Of course, I was rooting for Charlotte Flair.
Asuka wasn't in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was not in it.
But I thought she would be. The other matches prior to the Women's Rumble, I kind of zoned out from the Edge and tag team Edge Miz.
I didn't watch that. I don't like mixed doubles.
Yeah, I don't like
to be
double
honest.
intergender.
I like women's wrestling, but
I don't like intergender matches too much.
It's like because you know what. The guys hold back when
pro wrestling is suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not my thing. The intergender stuff.
When we went to that house show, I did like the.
Well, I do like good. Impact Wrestling's intergender, but like WWE doesn't do it correctly.
Yeah, it's not great.
I didn't really view that match too much.
Me neither. I think
Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins.
That was kind of
match was really good, really good. I give it like 4 stars.
Jokes out.
I don't like how it ended though. The way they ended it, I seemed like kind of stupid. And I think they're dropping the ball with Rollins. He's probably their best wrestler right now.
I do like the Rollins Joker gimmick.
Yeah, it's very
funny. I like him more now than when he was pretty much any of his other ones.
Yeah, he has actually character now. I usually didn't like his. He had no charisma.
He's like the antagonist to Roman Reigns, which Roman's also probably riding an all-time high right now.
Yeah, these last 2 years he's been killing it. But that match, I was disappointed in the Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match, and I didn't watch fan of both of those wrestlers.
I just didn't get to the whole thing. Was very long. I didn't get through the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that match in particular could have been better. I think they need to start booking Lesnar as a real wrestler, not just an MMA wrestler.
Right, but I think we could have predicted it wasn't going to be like a super
all
long
his matches
match.
In the last couple of years, it's like give or take. He has to have the right.
He does like the suplex thing.
No, but he's had some really good matches. But yeah, it was all right.
Well, who won?
Lashley.
Lashley won?
Yeah, he took the belt from Lesnar. Interference of Roman Reigns, actually, and Paul Heyman. Double-crossing Lesnar.
Shame on me for not watching this. I'm a big Lashley fan.
Okay, so moving on to the bigger part of the Royal Rumble, the Men's Rumble. There was some surprise entrance in Shane McMahon, Bad Bunny. If anyone's
yeah, you know what I did? I didn't see the end. I do remember watching
Bad
Bunny.
Was an entrant.
He eliminated someone, right?
There was Sheamus. There was a Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin. There's a lot of wrestlers in there. I feel like they should have.
Well, who was the best legend that?
There was, I mean, there's no cameos this year that were really surprising. Like a lot of Rey Mysterio was in it, but there wasn't like.
Yeah, but he's on the roster anyway.
Yeah, there wasn't any like surprise entrance besides Shane McMahon and Bad.
That's kind of disappointing, but the roster's so huge now that it's like.
I expected some NXT wrestlers to be in it, and unfortunately, like LA Knight, who's the former Eli Drake.
Yeah.
I thought like they would use some of the NXT guys, but as a wrestling fan, it was kind of disappointing. I give the Men's Rumble like a 3
out of 10.
Maybe. It was like one of the worst Rumbles for me. I personally.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even. I couldn't even get through the whole thing. It was just too late.
Spoiler alert! I mean, anyone who's actually a wrestling fan listening,
they either don't care, or they're not listening.
Yeah, but like Brock Lesnar won that.
We're gonna talk about wrestling. Damn it, I don't care.
Yeah, well, Brock Lesnar won the Rumble. He came out and just like won. And I feel like they didn't even need to include him because Lesnar does whatever he wants. If he wants to be in a title or WrestleMania match, he just does it. So it's bad booking. And for WWE, it's kind of like they find their fans to be delusional that actually watch. So We're done with that topic. I'm over it. That's all I had to say.
Becky versus Dewdrop.
That match also was a letdown. I give it out of 5. I give it a 3. Could have been much better. It
Who
was
won again?
Becky.
Becky won, of course.
But I feel like she's just using like a modified rock bottom now, and like I feel like she's just like
Come up with your own moves, Becky Lynch.
well, it's not even paying respect, and I also just feel like she's like lost her appeal for me as a viewer. I don't watch WWE as
Yeah,
much. But
ever since she got married to Seth Rollins,
yeah,
she lost her edge.
Yeah, but Big Money Bex won, and that's it. Let's go on to the next topic.
Next topic. Okay. Well, I think we both enjoyed the AFC and NFC championship games.
So
let's start with the Bengals beating
Kansas City.
What an upset!
What an upset!
7-point underdog is huge for
our viewers. Know you placed a bet.
But I thought I got the Bengals right. I thought I messed up the other game.
You messed up the other game, but I was spot on with all the scores of these games. I definitely knew that the Bengals game...
You knew, man. You knew.
I knew the Bengals game would go down to the wire more so than the other game.
I feel like I definitely liked the Bengals.
I'm more impressed that Joe Burrow has actually proved that he's a solid QB. I know, stats and...
Let's just say it. Burrow's got cojones, okay?
Yeah, no. I honestly didn't expect the Bengals to go this far, and I'm impressed.
The man's got swag, too.
Yeah,
it's big. You need that.
He's a solid quarterback. I mean, in college, he won in college, right?
Yeah, with LSU. Joe Burrow with the EUX at the end.
Yeah.
Smoking a cigar after he won.
That's right. What a legendary photo.
I mean, he is like 28 years old. Like, I know it's like his second year, but...
No, but that's impressive. In your second year, it's reminiscent of how Mahomes missed his first year, and then in his real second year of being in the NFL, he went straight to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it should be a good rivalry between like Mahomes, Burrow,
and Josh Allen.
So basically,
there's a lot of quality quarterbacks we got going on. Great time to be a
Jets
football
are
fan.
Screwed, basically.
Yeah, well, Zach Wilson,
as always,
may turn around next year. Give him some time.
It may not be Brady in our division, but Josh Allen's like, I don't want to call him the next Brady, but the Bills are set up pretty well.
Yeah.
Best rushing quarterback and possibly best passing quarterback.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we thought the Bills should have won that game.
I think it'd be a better matchup. But you know what? Chiefs, any Chiefs?
I don't know who I want to win. I kind of like both teams.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like because I want.
Let's move on to the.
All right, let's talk about the other game.
Yeah, so that Rams 49er game, I was also correct.
You were. I think
not high scoring, good defense. I mean, any Niners fans could tell me always have very good.
Any Niners fans can back off.
But the Rams put up a fight, and another great game we got.
The Niners covered the spread, which that was a good call on you. I think I kind of was leaning towards them, but just for the sake of like
being different,
I went with the Rams. So I owe you that extra sloppy gyro platter.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Additionally, that third and fourth quarter was really big, and the Rams, pulled through. So.
Well, you got to feel good for Stafford.
Yeah, well, after all the years he put up on Detroit Lions,
he suffered on Detroit.
Yeah,
most guys just retire.
But he got out of there. And you know what? He's always been a solid QB.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not like for me at least, being a fantasy player, I never thought he was like the biggest stat guy, but he always had solid.
He was like a solid guy,
yeah.
Definitely.
He fills like the role, and honestly, the Rams overall have a really good team.
So. They have the better team. They have the much better team.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, damn, the Rams got really good receivers too. I was gonna say because the Bengals' strength kind of is their receivers, but.
Yeah.
cup, and Beckham looks like he's having a renaissance.
Well, Beckham's having a resurgence in his career, and it's actually nice to see because people counted him out when he went to the Browns. So.
I guess. I mean, I don't really care. I never liked him.
Hey.
I like him as a player, but
well,
not that he's done anything like bad off the field besides just kind of be
a
little
less level-headed.
A lot of receivers are like that, but yeah.
Well, he's an animated person.
He's not the most incredibly likable guy, but he's also, a wide receiver, I don't hate him.
But yeah, should
I
be a good
I'm not like,
Super
I feel
Bowl.
so
Who
good
do you
for
think is
him.
going to win the Super Bowl? This is what I want.
I gotta say the Rams. It's like a whatever pick.
You know what? I'm going to go with the Bengals.
With the spicy Burrow?
I think Joe Burrow's got it. There's something about them. They fought. And you know what? They keep fighting. Each playoff game proved that. And
I don't want to bet against Burrow because he's just like, he's got that it factor.
Well, I'm also not going to just take the Rams because I feel like, I don't know the Vegas odds right now.
Rams -4.
Ooh.
That was yesterday. I assume it didn't move since then. That was on FanDuel, so.
Moving the needle. But I really think I'm going to go with the Bengals this year.
To win?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Spicy, but I think Aaron Donald's just going to have his way.
Well, we'll see.
Double or nothing on the gyro platter.
Oh.
Let's give it a week.
Yeah, let's give it
We'll think on that.
But that's about it. I mean, anything else you want to say, Joel?
Seen any good movies lately?
I have. Anybody who's a big Marvel fan, I watched Spider-Man.
Spiderweb Man.
Spider-Man No Way Home. And it was very good. I enjoyed it highly.
What is a Spider-Man? No, I'm just kidding.
It's really cool. I think Tom Holland's a great actor, actually. I really enjoy him.
I didn't watch...
Or at least he
convinced
me. I watched all 3 of those movies, and seeing the newest one, I was sold. And they ended it very interesting. I'll say that.
Okay, well, that's a good way to put it without spoiling it. Didn't the guy come back as the Green Goblin? Our favorite actor?
Willem Dafoe. And he also was incredible. They did the throwback attire, which I'm a big fan of because I'm like a comic book nerd and I love the old Green Goblin. So, yeah.
Maybe next week we do our top 5 Willem Dafoe
roles. Before we end this podcast, we wanted to do a list.
Yeah, I do like the list idea.
So, I will say this really quick before we finish. Who do you think 6th Man of the Year this year?
Put me on the spot like that. Throw me the grenade.
I'm just going to go with the easy one.
I'm trying to think. You tell me yours.
I'm picking between Clarkson or Mello.
Clarkson's hasn't been as good as last year, though.
I know, but...
And Mello was a feel-good pick.
I mean, he's...
How about one of those guys on the Heat? I like that guy Strus and that other guy, Gabe Vincent.
I would go with Max Strus being able to land in there.
Although Strus is mostly just like a 3-point specialist, pretty much, right?
Yeah. I mean...
They're not going to win it. I just kind of like them.
I mean, you could say Mikal Bridges. Isn't he like the 6th man? Or he starts, right?
No, he starts.
Oh,
Schroeder, prior to the last couple of weeks, I think they're limiting his minutes before the trade.
Yeah, when he started at the beginning of the year, he's definitely...
And he was also getting some starts, so I don't think he's going to be eligible, but he was putting up pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
I mean... Is Bogdanovich starting for the Hawks? Or is
That's a decent pick. He's having a pretty good year. I don't think he stands out to me. I think he comes off the bench. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I haven't watched too much Hawks, to be honest. They're another disappointment.
Yeah, well, going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I do like John Collins, and there has been trade rumors. I don't know where
I
he
don't
ends
know if
up.
they're gonna get rid of him, but I heard he's the last 2 years been a big trouble in the locker room. So we'll see closer to deadline if they do move him and try to change things up. I heard everyone's basically available on the Hawks except Clint Capella and Trae Young are the most untouchable.
I know I'll just keep opening up another can of worms while we're trying to close it out, but what are the Knicks doing with Cam Reddish? Like,
Though I heard they're actually trying to get rid of those players I mentioned prior, like Nerlens Noel,
so he has a
Kevin,
spot in the
Alec
rotation.
Burks, Fournier, because they traded a first rounder and Kevin Knox.
Right.
Get Reddish.
Right. So
And
they
probably
going to
extend him when those contracts are up.
I mean, he clearly has talent.
Yeah, he's just young. Well, fairly young. But yeah, my candidate for Sixth Man of the Year this NBA season probably is going to be Melo. It's not, biases aside. I think averaging 13, 14 points off the bench. He's been a solid role player or sixth man for the Lakers. He literally, I mean, if he's not the candidate for the Lakers, it would be Malik Monk, since he doesn't start.
He's played well.
I mean, he's kind of like what they call a microwave, a volume scorer, but I like him. And if taking the bias aside, I mean, I don't watch many Sixers games, but what's his name on the Sixers? I really like. Who's their sixth man?
I don't know. Maxey?
No, Maxey
he starts.
Is it
Tibial?
Yeah.
I thought he starts though.
Does he?
I think he does. He's like a
I thought Danny Green started with Tobias Harris and Joel.
I'm guilty of not watching much Sixers. I hate them.
I think it's Tibial, Matisse.
So. I hope all the bad things happen to the Sixers. Well, no one gets hurt, but I just hope they have no success whatsoever.
Well, anyway.
Hate.
To end our podcast, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Joel. I forgot for a second.
Great pauses aside. Thanks for listening.
Hope my levels weren't too crazy.